Hello guys, welcome to the free paper one workshop. We're just going to go through some past papers, and please can I ask you to keep your cameras and your cameras off and keep yourself on mute because I'm severely ADHD, so it'll be very distracting. So I'm just going to go through, I'm not sure how many of you were in the Verlede thing, but as I said to everyone there, I do have to pause every now and then just to allow people in, and then also just to read questions, because there is a chat box for your questions where you can type to me either privately or publicly. It's up to you. And then also, if anyone is not on the free notes group on Telegram, you have to message me and just say grade 12 caps. Then I know that you need that link, because there's tons of free content on there, not just for Afrikaans. Like there's Afrikaans, English, maths, I think bio, some accounting stuff. There's a bunch of different subjects, and it's free stuff, and it's literally the stuff that we share with our students that we teach one-on-one. So it's very beneficial. Okay, hopefully everyone's almost in, and then we can get started. So I don't know who's done which papers, obviously, but I just picked one that I thought looked like I haven't done it in a workshop before. So I'm just gonna close this. If anyone needs this number, it's on the screen here. And I'll also type it in the chat box for you, and then you have it. So just send caps grade 12, like nothing else, just caps grade 12, because obviously I can't reply to a million things. I'm putting my number here, and you can just send caps grade 12. Then you'll get the Telegram group, and there's free notes. And the nice thing is you can access everything that was posted before you joined, which is lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to let these people in quick. Here you go. Okay, so I picked this paper. It is November 2018. So I don't know who's done it or who hasn't done it, but hopefully you read something or see something useful. I hope I can be helpful to you. This is why we shouldn't arrive late, because it's distracting. Okay, so I'm going to go from the Opsomming to the end. I hope that's fine with everyone. I'm not sure who does how well at Opsommings, but it's a nice place to get marks. And I think that people overcomplicate it, because often at school, your teachers say, you're not allowed to use words from the text, but you are. So as long as you don't quote word for word or verbatim, you're sorted. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it, just in case, just so we can up those marks. Okay, let's start. We're going to go all the way to the end of this paper from here. Okay, so Opsomming obviously means summary. So you're going to read the text, and then you're going to follow these instructions. So a big mistake is that people don't read these instructions, because they tell you exactly what they want from you, and it actually makes it easier. So the first part says, som die 7 dinge wat jy moet doen om 'n gemeenskapstuin te begin. Oh, just so you guys know, I've never looked at this paper before, so I might have to like pause to think. Okay, so I just wanted to do it like with fresh eyes, like you guys would be looking at it if you haven't done it. Okay, so summarize the 7 things that you must do to start a community garden in your eie volsinne op. So this part throws people off. So it says, because it says in your eie volsinne, they think that they're not allowed to use any of these words. You are, you just can't copy paste. So like you can't quote a sentence like you would if you were doing like a comprehension, you know? So if you just leave out adjectives and, you know, silly little words, like if you see this little part here, if you left out buyer, you wouldn't be quoting verbatim. So technically, you wouldn't lose marks for that. And even if you did, it would be like 1 for the whole thing, but you wouldn't. Okay, and then write down the head, the main ideas, puntsgewys. So puntsgewys just means not a paragraph, because I think in English you guys have to do a paragraph for summary. In Afrikaans, you do puntsgewys. So like how it's numbered here, you kind of do that. Exactly the same, actually. You number it 1 to 7. So it says number the main ideas 1 to 7, and then it says your summary may not be longer than 70 words. Okay, and then it says indicate the correct amount of words. So they're allowed to take a mark away if you don't put the amount of words, which is silly because why would you lose a mark for something so like easy if you need to do that for your writing anyway? Okay, so just write it at the end of your summary. Okay, so we're going to do 7 thoughts. And you want to remember this. This says wat jy moet doen om 'n gemeenskapstuin te begin. So what do we have to do to start a community garden? Okay, so let's read. Gemeenskapstuine, and also a good idea is to take 70, because we're not allowed to go over 70. You go 70 divided by 7 ideas. So we have 10 words per sentence. Okay, that makes it a bit easier. Okay, daar is baie mense. Oh, wait, I didn't read the heading. Gemeenskaptuine, groente vir 'n goeie doel. So this says community gardens, vegetables for a good, I want to say purpose. It also means goal, but let's go with purpose. Daar is baie mense wat deesdae sonder werk is en honger ly. So there are many people that are without work these days and that are suffering from hunger. Jy kan iets, so do we think there's a tip there for us for how to start a community garden? No. So I would draw my pencil, like just a line through it, okay? If I was 100% sure, just to like have less information to deal with. Okay, then jy kan iets aan hierdie probleem doen. You can do something about this problem. Is there a tip there? No. Draw a line through it. 'n groentetuin kan help om vir mense werk te gee en om die gemeenskap van kos te voorsien. So a vegetable garden can help give people work, and it can also provide food to the community. Here is a few tips to help people start a vegetable garden. Okay, so this is an announcement that there'll be tips following to start a vegetable garden. So I feel like that whole first paragraph, we can just draw a line through. We don't need any of that information because we're not going to be putting that in our summary. So just to recap, our mission is what you must do to start a community garden. Okay, so as almal in die gemeenskap weet wat aangaan, sal hulle met mekaar saamwerk. So if everyone in the community knows what's going on, they will work together. That might be useful. Okay, so we'll just leave it for now. Vertel dis vir almal wat jy beplan. So I feel like this is a tip. So vertel almal in die gemeenskap wat aangaan, dan sal hulle saamwerk. Okay, that would be a good first tip. Okay, kies 'n komitee wat die tuin sal beplan en bestuur. Choose a committee that will plan the garden and manage it. That's definitely one we should be doing, okay? But we can just change it up a bit. So we can say, we can either find a synonym for kies, or we can say, like you can say, mark a committee wat beplan en bestuur, or wat die tuin sal beplan en bestuur, but you just change one word. You can add in a word. Okay, we can just change something to make it different. Hierdie komitee sal of moet besluit wat geplan gaan word en wie in die tuin gaan werk. So if you wanted to be like a little bit brave and you're good at your word order, what you could do is combine those two if it doesn't go over 10. So kies 'n komitee wat die tuin sal beplan, bestuur en besluit wat geplan gaan word, full stop. So you're leaving out words, but you're still keeping their same stuff, so you know you're putting the right content there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then as I'm doing this with you guys, keep looking up at this to remember my goal. And if I was, generally what I do is if I have this as a hard copy, I actually write for myself in English. I write down what my mission is here. Just a little gap. So because when we get so into this and we want to keep things in the right word order and stuff, it's easy to get overwhelmed. So, you just might forget and then put in the wrong stuff, or you might get over it and just leave it. Okay, so just put it here as a little reminder for yourself. Okay, and then om 'n groentetuin te begin en aan die gang te hou, is mense nodig wat sekere dinge kan doen. Byvoorbeeld, iemand wat water na die tuin kan aanlê. So this says to start a vegetable garden and to keep it going, people with necessary or with certain skills are necessary. For example, someone that can hook up the water to the garden. Okay, maak 'n lys van mense in die gemeenskap wat die verskillende take kan verrig. So I feel like this last sentence is actually the, you know, the instruction for us, or the tip. So you can say, maak 'n lys van mense in die gemeenskap wat tuine or take vir die tuin kan verrig. Then you're just changing it a little bit. I just want to read this question. Do we always have to number our sentences and skip lines after each sentence? Yes, 100%. So yeah, that's why we said number the main ideas from 1 to 7. Definitely, and then leave a line open, because that makes it easier for the person to mark. Because if it's cluttered, please can you unmute yourself? I mean, no, mute yourself, not unmute. Okay, so it's just easier for them to mark, and then it's also actually easier for you if you leave your lines open and keep your work tidy, because it's easier to keep your thoughts like in order, you know. Okay, so what you can do is like start with the obvious ones, or just like write a little 1. Yeah, 1, there's my first idea. 2, there's my second one. 3, there's my next one. Okay, and also think about this when you say wat jy moet doen om 'n gemeenskap tuin te begin. If you're summarizing what you must do, what are you doing? You're giving advice, right? So you're actually giving tips. So you're actually going to start your sentences with verbs, or you can start your sentence with jy moet. Okay, so for instance, you could say jy moet 'n lys van mense in die gemeenskap maak wat verskillende take kan verrig. Okay, so jy moet is a nice way to start this. Okay, I am going to just go through this with you guys, and I'm going to show you the memo and show you the different options. I just want us to see all the information, how you can do it differently. So you guys can pick in there. Like, the thing is, you all have different strengths. So some of you would be comfortable taking 2 sentences and combining them. Some of you would be comfortable starting on a verb, always, like maak 'n lys van mense wat verskillende take kan verrig. Like, if you literally took this sentence over here, I don't know if I can highlight it. Let's try. Oops, a daisy. Like that. If you took this sentence, right, and we said maak 'n lys van mense wat verskillende take kan verrig, you'd be sorted. That would be perfectly fine. Okay, and we're not quoting it word by word, which is perfect. Okay, and like we can leave out like die verskillende. We can just say different tasks. Okay, niks kan gedoen word as daar nie geld daarvoor is. So nothing can be done if there is no money for it. Okay, so I don't feel like that's really giving us a tip, so I'm just going to skip that. Daarom moet 'n begroting opgestel word om seker te maak dat daar geld is vir die tuin. So the second sentence is our actual tip. So it says there must be a budget set up to make sure that there's always money for the garden. So what would we say? We could say maak 'n begroting, or actually if you were really creative, you could say stel 'n begroting op, but we don't have to say that. So you can say jy moet, if you replace daarom with jy, you could say jy moet 'n begroting opstel om seker te maak dat daar geld vir die tuin is. That would be perfect. I just want to read this question. So each point needs to be in your own words. So no. Okay, so what I'm saying is that you guys are, unless your Afrikaans is really good and you're amazing at word order, then you can go crazy with your own words, but it's smarter to just do exactly what I just did here. Like either just change the sentence a little bit, or take out words that you're comfortable enough to know that you don't need them. So for instance, this one that I highlighted, I'm just going to do it again. It says maak 'n lys van mense in die gemeenskap wat die verskillende take kan verrig. That means make a list of people in the community that can do different tasks. So we're going to change it. We're just going to say maak 'n lys van
We're not changing it.
do you mind muting yourself? Goodness. Okay. So you can say maak 'n lys van mense wat die verskillende take kan verrig. Then all you did was left out in die gemeenskap and you're sorted. I'm actually just going to show you guys. Okay, I'm just going to show you some of the examples after we've gone through that content, just so you can see how simple it is. Okay, you don't have to come up with a million words. You can literally just take their words. Okay, yes, this is a lovely way to check how you do it. So yeah, it says vertel dis vir almal wat jy beplan. So that means therefore tell everyone what you're doing. Lig die gemeenskap in oor planne vir die tyd. So that's a really fancy way of doing it. You don't have to do that. You can just remove some words that are irrelevant. Okay, and then the next example says kies 'n komitee wat die tuin sal beplan en bestuur. So this means choose a committee that will plan and manage the garden. Kies 'n komitee om die tuin te beplan en te bestuur. Do you see how easy that is? They just said choose a committee to plan and manage it. So it's very similar. You don't have to do your own things. I'm just going to read this question. Ma'am, my teacher said we can quote directly from the text and we will get 7 marks, but won't get the rest of the 3 marks. She says positive marking. Is she correct? So I don't know if they take a full 3 marks away from quoting, but I wouldn't throw away those marks. It sounds right. I don't think they take that. Let's actually just check if it's on the memo. Yeah, they usually tell us. I haven't done this one in a while. Let's see. So yeah, it says 7 points for your fact, right? If you get 1 fact per point, you're cool. Then 3 marks for the language. Okay, that means your word order and if you choose the correct words. That's why I wouldn't pick my own words. I would choose theirs. Okay, then it says toekenning van taalpunte as leerders nie woordeliks aangehaal het nie. Okay, so if you you'll get the extra 3 marks if you didn't quote word for word, but you don't need to quote word for word. It's not necessary. And then it says no marks are removed if you forgot to put your word count. That's lucky. Okay, so guys, my honest opinion is just quote from here and take out the words that you don't need or replace. Okay, so you can also say jy moet 'n lys maak van mense. Okay, I'm just going to do one more and then I'm going to move on from here. I hope this is helpful. Niks kan gedoen word as daar nie geld daarvoor is nie. Oh, I've said this. Nou kan die werk begin. So now the work can start. Is that useful for our mission? No. Kry die beste stuk grond wat vir die tuin beskikbaar is. So this is get the best piece of ground that is available for the garden. Begin dan met die voorbereiding van die grond deur kompos mooi in die grond in te werk. Okay, so I feel like saying get the best ground is fine. So if we had to do this sentence, we would just say kry die beste grond vir die tuin. That's it. That's all you have to say. You can leave out beskikbaar is. You don't have to say all of this. And you don't have to say stuk grond. Okay, guys, I hope this was a little bit helpful at least. I'm going to go to the advert now. Obviously, practice as many of those as you can. It's 10 marks and all the information's there, which really helps. Okay, advert. Die taalvraag wat volg is op die advertensie, so language question based on the advert. The numbering in the advert refers to a question number that must be answered, and then follow the instructions at each question. Okay, word jy vakansie, do you ja holiday? You guys all have that to look forward to. Jy is dalk iemand wat of wie 'n vakansie nodig het. You might be someone that needs a holiday. 'n Vakansie wat goedkoop is, selfsorg insluit. So a holiday that is cheap or affordable includes self-care. It's on the beach. Op die strand is on the beach. It's wheelchair friendly. Ons sal selfs jou troeteldiere welkom. We'll even welcome your pets. Look how happy the doggy is. Hier by ons het jy rede om van oor tot oor te glimlag. So yeah, with us, you have the reason to smile from ear to ear, like this doggy's doing. Those people are smiling all happy, and there's some happy people. See en sand vakansie oor. So this is sea and sand holiday resort. Bel means to phone. You can phone that number. ss@cssun.coza is obviously the email, and then here's the website. Volg ons. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, let's see what they asked. Hoe maakt die adverteerder die opskrif persoonlik? How does the advertiser make the heading personal? The advertiser, druk die opskrif bo aan die advertensie, he pushes the heading up to the top of the advert. That's weird because that doesn't make it personal. Gebruik verskillende lettergroottes. He uses different letter sizes. That doesn't sound right either. Werk met verskillende lettertypes. He works with different letter types. That doesn't sound right either. And then starts with a general question. So I would think he starts with a general question, right? Because then you're like, you feel like they're talking to you. Okay, so D. Kies die correcte voornaamwoord. So choose the correct pronoun. 8 die tussen hakkies. Jy is dalk iemand wat of wie 'n vakansie nodig het. So generally, I would think it's wat, because we'll double check me, because sometimes I still get confused, because generally the rule is if there's no preposition in the second sentence, on the second part of the sentence, then you choose V. So let's go C, just in case. Never want to teach you guys wrong. Wat. So it's that. So if you think about it in English, we would have said, you might be someone that needs a holiday. So generally, rule of thumb is if the second sentence doesn't have a preposition, then you're going to say wat. Okay. So if you want to say V, like the person who, but there's no preposition here, then you choose wat. Okay, that's what I use to get by. Okay, then gee die intensiewe vorm of the word between hakkies. Goedkoop is spot goedkoop. I'll just show you the spelling. So it's spot goedkoop, because spot means to mock. So it's so cheap, it's like a joke. Next one, 3.4, correct form of the word between brackets. Ons sal selfs jou troeteldiere verwelkom. So we'll even welcome your pets. Verwelkom as a verb would be VER in front of it. Let me show you the spelling. Verwelkom. Okay, that's the verb of it. Hoe word die volgende sin in die advertensie met prente voorgestel? So how are the following sentences in the advert suggested with pictures? Hoor jy vakansie? So do you ja vakansie? I'm going to imagine something with an ear. So yeah, the little doggy ears. Okay, so daar's 'n where is it? So daar is 'n prent van 'n hond met ore wat uitstaan. So it's a picture of a dog with ears standing up, because there's, like, think about it in an obvious way. So do you hear something? There would have to be ears, or it will have to be something like that. Okay, and then hier by ons het jy rede om van oor tot oor te glimlag. So yeah, with us, you have reason to smile from ear to ear. Which picture would be telling us that? So either the dog with his big smile, or those people smiling. So it's, yeah. Daar is 'n prent van die glimlaggende mense, die hond wat met die menstande glimlag. So it's either the people, let me just show you. So either this, I think I always suggest going with the obvious one. So this one, this dog is smiling hugely, and these people are smiling. So that works with that sentence. Okay, next one. Watter voorsetsel word deur at voorgestel? So which preposition is suggested with at? So it would be by. But let's go look. Where is it? Oh, there. CSO, by. So at is by, right? By. Okay, so it's just knowing what at is in Afrikaans, essentially. Okay, there's no shortcut to learning prepositions. There's in that study guide. So everyone that's on the, or that's been on the Afrikaans CAPS groups before we moved over to Telegram, I sent everyone that study guide. So if anyone does not have the blue and yellow study guide, you can also pop me a message, or I'll just send another copy onto the Telegram group. So just join the Telegram group because it's free, and I'll pop a copy on there again if anyone doesn't have it. It's so good to study from for Taal and stuff. Well, for Taal. Okay, the next one, 3.7. Die S-alliterasie in die naam van die vakansieoord skep 'n gevoel van rustigheid. Okay, so the S-alliteration in the name. So the name of this place is See en Sand Vakansieoord. So sea and sand holiday resort. Okay, so does that give us a feeling of uncomfortableness or peacefulness or calmness? So it's rustigheid. You can just use, if you know those words, then you just use common sense. They don't want to create a feeling of discomfort. They want to create a feeling of comfort or peace. Okay, 3.8. Wat doen die adverteerder om die leser te manipuleer? What does the reader do to manipulate the reader to choose See and Sand Vakansieoord? Name one technique. So I didn't actually read this properly. What technique do they use to, like, they make us feel like we'll definitely be happy there. And would jy vakansie? So they'll give us a few options. Okay, so they gave us 3 options. Let me just allow these people in quick. Okay, so 1, sluit baie foto's van die see en sand. So they manipulate us by including a lot of pictures, and also they obviously manipulate us by pictures of happy people. They always do that. Like, have you ever seen the smiling salad girls? There's always girls smiling with salads. It's just like to tell you that you'll be that happy, beautiful, thin, smiling person. Okay, they use photos or pictures of happy people and the dog. Even the dog's happy. They use words that manipulate people, like, for instance, goedkoop, which means cheap or affordable. Rolstoelvriendelik is wheelchair friendly. Van oor tot oor te glimlach, so to smile from face to face. See en sand, so sea and sand, who doesn't like the beach. Ons sal selfs jou troeteldier verwelkom. We'll even welcome your pet. Okay, but I would always say go with the obvious ones. People are smiling. Okay, and then the last one for this question is gee die korrekte vorm van die woord asseblief. So correct form, dit is 'n rolstoelvriendelike vakansieoord. Okay guys, so the rule of thumb is if you are describing something, so if you're using an adjective, if it's if the adjective is before the noun, then you're going to change the form of it to like vriendelike. Okay, this is your not your adverbs, your adjective, so byvoeglike naamwoorde. Okay, so if you have the blue and yellow study guide, it's the page, it's a 1-pager, and it's the page right after degrees of comparison. Okay, so if this sentence was die vakansieoord is rolstoelvriendelik, that would be the correct form. But because the adjective is before the noun, we have to say dit is 'n rolstoelvriendelike vakansieoord. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Okay, the next one is strokiesprent. So we have a little cartoon. So frame 1, 2, and 3. Frame 1, Ma Hammy probeer sy best om my te irriteer. So this little kid is saying, Mom, Hammy is trying his best to irritate me. And then Mom says, and who doen hy dit? And how is he doing that? And then she says, he's doing exactly what I do. And she's like, nee. Okay, and then the child says, who kan ek kom kry om op te hou? How can I get him to stop? And then the mom says, maybe you can go clean your room. That's funny. That's clever. Ma'am, please repeat 3.9. I'm just going to go repeat 3.9. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm actually going to show you guys. Okay, so this correct form is about the adjectives, okay? I'm going to show you. Give me a sec. I'm just going to show you in the study guide so that everyone knows what's potting. So I use this book by Beryl Lutrin. I think it's great. There's a million books, but this one is Cool. So this is a really good book. I know most of you have it, and you probably just haven't used it in a long time, but it's got all your topics that you have to study. So yeah, it says Betreklike Voornaamwoorde, which is adjectives, and it's page 14. So it's the page straight after Trappe van Verkleining. So this is a wonderful book if you are studying, you know, like your Meervoude Verkleining, but all your rules are here as well. They're very useful. So the page straight after degrees of comparison is Betreklike Voornaamwoorde. These are adjectives. We know that adjectives are words that describe things, right? Generally nouns. So let's go to like this side, or let's use a word that everyone knows, like prachtig, right? So detain, or just the word tain, is a noun, right? And we want to describe it. So we say detain is prachtig. In your example, we are saying, like we would say, die vakansieoord is rolstoelvriendelijk. Okay, so imagine we're saying that. Okay, and then if we put the adjective before the noun in Afrikaans, we change how it sounds. So we say die prachtige tuin. Okay, so when they say correct form, and the reason it's confusing is because it doesn't exist in English. Like you would say the garden is beautiful, the beautiful garden, or the garden is pretty, the pretty garden. That's why it confuses English speaking people in general. Okay, so check how when the noun is before the adjective, we use this form that we got our answer in, our question in. Okay, but when the noun is after the adjective, we have to change the form. Okay, so this is one little page. It's not a lot. It's one page worth a read through. So your question is, dit is 'n rolstoelvriendelike vakansieoord. Okay, and you would have known that by studying this one, I guess. Words ending in lik. So die kos is smaaklik, die smaaklike kos. Die som is moeilik, die moeilike som. So die vakansieoord is rolstoelvriendelik, die rolstoelvriendelike vakansie. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Ma'am, what if we said die prachtigste tuin, if that was a question? So prachtigste, you're actually, that would actually be this. Let me just go up a bit. Whoops. You'd be doing degrees of comparison. So they wouldn't give it to you like that unless they were asking you the degree of comparison. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, strokies print, we've done that. So we've done the frame 1, we've done the frame 2. Okay, so the mom's basically tricking the child into going to clean her room so that her brother will do it as well, then he'll probably stop. 4.1, right, skryf die dogtertjie se woorde in rampie 1 voor en vul die ontbrekende komma op die korrekte plek in. So rewrite the girl's words in frame 1. So this one, and put the comma in the correct place. So ma, comma. Hammy probeer sy bes om my te irriteer. So it would be ma, comma. That's why I even read it funny, because I was like, ma, hammy. Okay, so the comma needs to be after ma. Okay, 4.2. Kies 'n synoniem vir irriteer. In rampie 1 uit die lys hieronder. Oh, thank God they gave us a list. I would like drew a blank. Write just the number. So irriteer. So pla means to bother. So that's probably it. Help is a positive and irriteer is a negative. So it's not that. Verveel is to bore him, her. So it's not that. So pla is to bother. So it's that one. 4.3. Hoe word die dogtertjie se woorde in rampie 2 beklemtoon? How are the girls' words in frame 2 emphasized? Let's see. Hy doen presies wat ek doen. So she emphasizes it with the exclamation mark. So there are 2 ways, but we're going to go with the obvious one. She's shouting it. So we call that a uitroepteken. Okay. And then 4.4, waarom is die dogtertjie in rampie 2 se mond so groot op? Why is the girl's mouth open so wide in frame 2? Because she's shouting. So I'm going to show you. You can just say skree, like she's shouting. Yeah. Klaar, uitroepteken, uitroepsin. Okay, dit wys dat sy hard praat of skree. So I would have just always gone with the most obvious one. It shows that she's speaking loudly or she's shouting. Okay, also wil haar ma se aandag trek. So she wants to get her mom's attention. That's also a good one. Okay. Next one, 4.5. Die dogtertjie se woorde in rampie 3 is in die indirekte rede. Die dogtertjie vra, hoe kan ek hom kry om op te hou? Oh, wow. Wow, I can't even read. It says write her words in the indirect. Okay, so what is she doing? It's a question sentence, okay? So we're going to say, die dogtertjie vra, who? So our rule for indirect is that if they already, so if it's a question without a question word, then we would use off. But if it's a question word with a question word, which this is, then we keep our question word. So we'd say, and we still move that verb to the end. So die dogtertjie vra, hoe sy hom kan kry om op te hou. Okay, hope that makes sense. Where is it? Yeah. Die dogtertjie vra, hoe sy hom kan kry om op te hou. So the reason it's like this is because when we have a question word, so indirect and indirect, whatever you're going to use to put it into indirect is going to be a group 3 conjunction. All question words are group 3 conjunctions. So therefore, whether you said who or wanneer or whichever one, you're going to keep that. If you had a normal sentence, just a statement sentence, you'd be using the group 3 conjunction dat. If you had a normal question, you'd be using the group 3 conjunction off, which is also group 3. Therefore, your verbs are going to go to the end, right? So when we move verbs to the end, we move helping verbs to the end before the main verb. So your main verb is kry, it's going to go to the end. But kan is a helping verb, therefore kan is going to go to the end before the main verb. And then here's our little infinitive. Okay, so die dogtertjie vra hoe sy hom kan kry om op te hou. I just want to read this question. Ma'am, when do we change kan to kon? You only change kan to kon in the past tense. Okay, so not in direct and indirect, unless they were telling you that you must also change it, unless they gave you some sort of indication to change it to past tense. Kon is the past tense of kan. Okay. There's actually, I put on the Telegram group, there's I typed out past tense rules, and it's in English, so you'll understand it. It's very useful. Okay, next one. Wat impliseer die ma se woorde in rampie 3 noem 2 dinge? What does the mom's words in frame 3 imply? Name 2 things. One, that the girl doesn't clean her room, and that if she had to clean it, the boy would stop doing what she does. So die dogtertjie se kamer is stadig nie aan die kant nie. So the girl's room is messy, it's not tidy. Hammy sal nie daarvan hou om die kamer aan die kant te maak nie. So Hammy wouldn't like to tidy up his room. Dan sal Hammy se kamer ook skoon kom, because then Hammy's room will also be clean. Dan sal Hammy haar nie langer irriteer nie. So any one of those 4. I mean, yeah. Okay. Next one. 4.7. As die dogtertjie met haar boetie raas, sal sy sê, if the girl wanted to shout at her brother, she would say, ophou om. Okay, so this is just you're picking the correct word order. So we already know that we'd be starting with a verb, right? So that immediately takes out ophou, because op is a preposition. So you can remove A and C. Hou op om precies te doen wat ek doen. Looks perfect. Hou op precies te doen. Oh yeah, no. So it's B. Hou op om precies te doen wat ek doen. So it's B. So I'm going to read the question. How can we get into the Telegram group? You can send a WhatsApp to my number, and you can say grade 12 caps, and then I will send you the Telegram group, but tomorrow, because I'll be fast asleep after this. Okay, skryf die ma se woorde skryf die ma se woorde in rampie 3 as 'n bevelsin. So we need to take her words in frame 3 and make it a bevelsin. Okay, so bevelsin is a, what do we call it? command sentence, right? So generally command sentences would start in a, what do you call it, a verb and end in an exclamation. So we'll see what she said. She said, maybe you can clean your room. Okay, so you can say, maak jou kamer skoon. Or, yeah, that's the easiest way. So just maak jou kamer skoon. Gaan maak jou kamer skoon works. Gaan maak jou kamer skoon with an exclamation mark. Jy moet jou kamer skoon maak jou kamer skoon. So I chose the shortest one. Clearly I'm lazy. So maak jou kamer skoon. As long as you start on a verb and end on an exclamation mark, then it's a command. Okay. And don't be afraid to leave out words that wouldn't form a part of that command. Skryf 'n tussenwerpsel uit die strokies prent neer. Sure, that's hectic. Nee. So, you know those funny words where like I and shoe, those weird ones that you like can't really put into words, or in direct you have to like say what they mean in words. Those are tussenwerpsels. I just want to quickly read oh, guys, my number's in the chat, so, and I'll share it again at the end. Okay, I'm just gonna do the next one. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Whoops. Okay, this is a newspaper article, so I'm gonna get through this. I just want to make sure we get through this whole thing. Yeah, we'll definitely be able to finish. Okay, next one. I'm not going to read the whole text. I know this is a bad habit, but I only read the sentence if I'm a bit confused about what they are asking. Otherwise, because we've done this for so many years, you guys are in grade 12, we've done this for so many years, generally you can just look at the instruction and be able to give the answer. Okay, it saves you a bit of time, and then it helps you like get more time for your first 3 questions. Okay, so 5.1.1, as gevolg van, I'm going to assume they just want the afkorting. So you put A.G.V. Don't forget that V at the end. Okay, 5.1.2, goed. And what do they want from us? They want byvoeglike naamwoord, which is an adjective. So the nice thing is that they give you the sentence. So that's what I just showed you guys in the book. Okay, so Laerskool Blomvlei lê in die middel van Hanover Park en is 'n goeie voorbeeld vir ander skole. Okay, so that's literally on this page. I'll just show you so that you guys have an appreciation for this book. It's very good. Oh yeah, die kind is goed, die goeie kind. Okay, and it says, yeah, byvoeglike naamwoord. Okay, literally just studying like the index to that book is useful because you learn the names of all these things. Okay, then homofoon van lei. Okay, so gebruik die homofoon van lei in 'n sin sodat die betekenis duidelik blyk. Okay, so they love testing lei, and lei. Okay, so hulle het gewys dat toewyding tot sukses lei. So they showed that perseverance or dedication leads to success. So homofoon, the way you remember the difference between homonym and homofoon, think about a phone by your ear. It sounds different. I mean, it sounds the same, but it has different spelling, different meaning. Okay, so you can use either lei as an L-Y or you can use lei as an L-U-I. I would use the long Y because that's the exact same sound as L-E-I. Okay, so lei means to suffer with a Y. Maybe it's, yeah, I just want to check. Lei. Okay, so it means you're suffering from something. So hy lei aan kanker, he suffers from cancer. Or hy lei 'n moeilike lewe, he's suffering in it, like he's living a difficult life. Hy lei onder sy kwaai ma. So yeah, I would just maybe choose the first one. It's just the easiest. But they often do lei, and lei. Okay, the other lei is L-U-I, which is like you're lazy or like the phone's ringing. Okay, or the bell's ringing. Next one, telwoord. Skryf die telwoord in die sin neer. Telwoord so 10. Okay, do they just want you to write the word 10? So they're like just checking that you actually know. That's hectic. So telwoord is a counting word, and then rangtelwoord is like eerste, tweede, derde, vierde. Okay. Next one, meervoud of, skoolhoof. So you look at the last part, HOOF. So it's got twin vowels, therefore we have to drop one, add an E, but because this word ends in an F, we change it to a W. So skoolhoof. Whoopsie. Oh, that's terrible, guys. It's skoolhoof da. Okay, so that's obviously an exception. I do not know. So I really thought it would be useful just to study from this. But it's not. So just to put this in perspective for you guys, like those overachievers, they get like 95%. Like I've literally been tutoring for like 7 years and I still make mistakes. So don't feel bad if you make a mistake. And please resend the number. Can't you guys just scroll up and see my number? Oh, I see. I see what I did. I sent it to everyone in the waiting room. Here you go. And then I'll send you the website as well. This is where you can book your future workshops. .coza workshops. Okay, that's where you can book your workshops if you need other subjects. Okay, let me just try and finish this paper so everyone can. I know you guys are studying late. Okay, so skoolhoof da. So ignore what I said. It's skoolhoof da. Okay, and then where are we? Oortreffende trap. So an easy way to remember the difference between vergrotende and oortreffende trap. Vergrotende, I'm just going to type it out here. Vergrotende trap has an ER in it, so it's the ER column. Okay, and then oortreffende is like the over the top one. So it's like bigger and then biggest. Okay, so oortreffende trap of swak would you just add a sta, so swakste. Okay, and then voornaamwoord is a pronoun. So Dawn het aan die einde van 2017 'n toekenning vir haar uitstekende werk ontvang. So Dawn is obviously a girl, but you can just check in the text if you're not sure. So it's hard. So her, for her hard work. Okay, then where am I? 5.1.8. Right, skryf die gedeelte tussen hakies in die infinitief. They just want us to only write the part between brackets and the infinitive. So wanneer daar probleme is, werk almal saam om seker te maak. Okay, so you're just going to put your first, and then your te verb has to be at the end. Therefore, seker has to go in the middle. So om seker te maak dat kinders veilig thuis kom. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Om seker te maak. Okay, and then the next one, lettergrepe. So there's always one of these in every exam. Hulle het die lopende busprojek, wat beteken dat volwassenes saam met die kinders huis toe stap. Okay, so volwassenes. Okay, the only tip I can give you here when you have to put it into syllables is that you cannot have any, what do you call it, vowels on their own. So volwassenes. Okay, you cannot have like an E on its own. Okay, and then this is the only way that you can write it. You can also write, I guess, the little dash thingies. Or like forward slash or whatever. But yeah, as long as it's clear so they know that you know what you're doing. I often clap it in my head. Okay, direkte rede. So we want the sentence into direct. Don't say dat dit belangrik is dat onderwysers op gehalte onderrig focus. So we're just we generally would be inserting that if we were putting something into the indirect. So we're gonna kick that out. We're gonna put a double punt, open quote, and then start from dit. Dit, and then whatever we start with, the verb comes next. So dit is belangrik dat onderwysers op gehalte onderrig focus. Okay, and this is what it would look like. Where is it? Did they say noodzakelijk? Oh wow, they made a mistake, guys. So this says belangrik and this one says noodzakelijk. Whoops. Okay, so anyway, regardless of whatever word they use, just stick to the rule. Whatever we start with, the verb comes next. So dit is, whatever, dat onderwysers op gehalte onderrig fokus. Okay, and then lydende vorm. Oh, I skipped antoniem. Antoniem for O. So die skool het onlangs 'n ou biblioteek gekry. Opposite of O is nuwe. Okay, so die skool het onlangs 'n nuwe biblioteek gekry. Okay, and the reason this is nuwe and not nuut is because this is O, which is we're using it as an adjective. Okay, and it's before the noun, so it would be nuwe biblioteek. Otherwise, it would have been oud and nuut, but O and nuwe go together. Okay, next one, lydende vorm. So for lydende vorm, the first thing you do is identify which tense it's in. So onderwysers motiveer leerders om dit te gebruik. So this is, if you look at the second thing in the sentence, it's in present tense because there's no het or sal and there's no verb at the end. Well, I mean, there is, but this is our verb. So onderwysers, so you want to say leerders word deur onderwysers gemotiveer om dit te gebruik. So you still have your infinitive at the end. Okay, I also put a little map to make it easy for active and passive, and also on the Telegram group. It's just a picture. Okay, vul die ontbrekende voorsetsel in. So we need to put in the preposition. Die mense van Hanover Park is baie trots op. You're proud of, so it's trots op. Laerskool Blomvlei. Gee die korrekte vorm. Okay, so hulle weet dat elkeen se bydrae en hulp on die skool waardeer word. Okay, so guys, help is in Afrikaans is the verb. Hulp is the help that you receive. So help is the verb, hulp is the noun. An easy way to remember is that help with an E has an E, the same as verb, and help with a noun is a noun like they both have the letter U. So that's just the easiest way to remember. Okay, we're just going to do these 6, then we're done. I just want to read this question. When is it deur and when is it word deur with lydende and bedrywende? So I'm going to show you guys just a quick picture of active and passive. I don't actually know what page it is, so we're just going to scroll. Sorry that we're going to scroll. So I want to just show you this is how easy this is when you look at this book. Okay, so we use word deur for present, we use sal deur, geverb word for future, and we use is deur for past. Okay, so here's active and passive. So here's the bedrywende vorm, lydende vorm. Do you know, I still, after all these years, get confused between the names. So all I do is I'm like, okay, they gave us the subject first, I have to start with the object. Or they gave us the object first, I have to put the subject. That's the way I do it. Okay, die seun, so this is present tense. Die seun skop die bal. That would become die bal word deur die seun geskop. So as we said, that's the present tense because the verb is the second thing in the sentence. Okay, and then in past tense, die seun het die bal geskop would become die bal is deur die seun geskop. The reason this confuses people is because generally is would be our present tense, right? But in this, it's past. Okay, and they all get geverb, unless it's one of those words that we learned in Verlede Tyd that don't get a ge. Okay, future would be die seun sal die bal skop, which would become die bal sal deur die seun geskop word. Okay, and then something important for you guys to know is that the only thing that you can put between word and deur, or is and deur, or sal and deur is time and manner. So if we had the word vandag in the number 1, it would be die seun skop vandag die bal. Die bal word vandag deur die seun geskop. Okay, and manner would also go in there. And I'll just do this one as well in case. Die seun het die bal gister geskop. Or actually, die seun het gister die bal geskop. Die bal is gister deur die seun geskop. And this one would be die bal sal môre deur die seun geskop word. And if you have a helping verb, so sal, kan, moet, mag, then you treat it the same as future tense, okay? And you keep that same word. So you keep your mut or whatever in the place of sal. Hope that makes sense. Oops. Okay. Kies die correcte woord. Let's just look at the picture. This looks like a bedroom. There's a kid's computer, clock, mirror or picture, I'm not sure. Computer, bed, clothes, books everywhere, and a guitar. Okay. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, kies die correcte woord tussen hakkies. Hy het nie sy klere of klere gebeere nie. Klere with an E. Okay, klere with a U is colors. Think about the word colors like this. Colors equals klere. They both have a U in it. Okay. Klere with E-R-E is clothing. So the boy didn't put his clothing away. Klere with E-R-E. Okay, skryf die sin in die ontkennende vorm. So ontkennende, die gordyne is nie toegetrek nie. This is just a regular sentence, so we're going to put our first nie after our verb, which is is. Okay, and then gee die verkleinwoord van die woord tussen hakkies. Daar is 'n klein venstertjie. So we add TJIE. Venstertjie. And die kamer. We don't actually need to see the picture, so I can go down. Vul die ontbrekende woord in die sin hieronder. Daar is 'n prent van 'n musiekinstrument op die plakkaat teen die muur. So there's a picture of a musical instrument on the poster against the wall. It's a guitar. Hierdie musiekinstrument noem ons 'n gitaar. You spell it K-I-T-A-A-R. Gitaar. Like that. Okay. And then you guys can save the chat. I learned that recently. You can literally like save the chat if you wanted some of those notes. Ontbreke, we done that. Samenstelling, kind plus kamer, kinderkamer. So whenever you have kind plus something, it's kinderkamer. I'm just going to show you. Where is it? Kinderkamer. Okay. And then the last one, full 20 sin hieronder. On die dak hang 'n apparaat wat 'n mens koel waai. So on the roof, there's an appliance that keeps you cool when colder. A fan is a wire, so W-A-A-I-E-R. Let's go see. So wire, or they said duck wire. I just think wire is just easier. Okay, cool. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'm going to put this up here so you have my contact details. So if anyone needs a one-on-one tutor, just email us. If anyone needs workshops, we'll be loading the other ones for November, like in the next, I want to say like 5 days. And I'm going to keep my Afrikaans ones free. Okay, so no one has to pay for that. And then obviously one-on-one. So I know the website says 280 per hour, but for MATRIC it's 250 per hour if anyone needs that. And if anyone has like specific things they really want covered in the workshops in November for the other subjects, then text me and I'll try get the team to like, you know, cover those things. But they are doing mostly past papers to help everyone. Yeah, and I hope you guys find this useful. Like, I really hope it's useful to you, because that's the reason I'm doing it, just to be helpful. So thank you for joining.